Parents missed my wedding for Disneyland. Now Dad wants to reconcile Chapter 1, The Forgotten Child. From the moment my brother Mike was born, my life changed. As a child, I had a loving relationship with both of my parents, but once Mike arrived, my mom transformed into one of those obsessive boy moms. She showered Mike with all her love and attention, leaving me feeling discarded and unimportant. My dad, though supportive and loving, never had the courage to stand up for me against my mom's favoritism. The only beacon of light in my otherwise dark childhood was my grandpa. Living across the country, he couldn't be there often, but he always stood up for me and openly disapproved of my parents' behavior. Realizing our mother's preference, delighted in rubbing it in my face. He framed me for his misdeeds and got me into trouble, enjoying the power and attention he received. Despite the challenges, I persevered. I attended a public university where I met Lucas, who would become my best friend and later, my husband. College was my escape from the toxicity at home. Lucas and my newfound friends were my pillars of strength, helping me move out of my parents' house and build a successful career. Chapter 2. The wedding that wasn't. When Lucas proposed, I was over the moon. We planned a simple yet elegant wedding and decided to keep it private. Though I invited my parents and Mike, they never responded. My attempts to discuss the wedding with my mom were met with indifference and constant interruptions about Mike's latest adventures. It was clear to me that they had no interest in my life. As the wedding day approached, I made a final attempt to involve them without explicitly stating it was my wedding. Predictably, my mom dismissed the event, citing Mike's football game as more important. I let it go, knowing it wouldn't change anything. Our wedding day was perfect despite their absence. My grandpa gave me away, surrounded by friends and loved ones. It was a day of joy, unmarred by the shadow of my parents' neglect. Chapter 3. The aftermath. Returning from our honeymoon, Lucas and I were met with a storm of messages. My paternal aunt's Facebook post about the wedding had gone viral, and my parents were publicly shamed. My grandpa had even confronted my dad, reducing him to tears and finally pushing him to stand up to my mom. My mom's messages oscillated between insults and desperate pleas for forgiveness, revealing the true extent of the chaos back home. Our extended family was divided. Many supported me, while my mom's sisters belittled me for not informing her about the wedding. They insisted she was heartbroken, but I doubted her sincerity. My best friends advised me to ignore them, urging me to prioritize my happiness and peace. Chapter 4. Confrontation. Determined to address the situation, I arranged a meeting with my parents and Mike, accompanied by my supportive aunts and uncles. My dad looked remorseful, my mom angry, and Mike indifferent. I confronted them about their neglect and abuse, making it clear that I was done with them. My aunts shut down my mom's attempts to interrupt, and my uncle reproached my dad for his weakness. The truth emerged painfully. My brother had intercepted and destroyed my wedding invitation, deleting my messages to my parents. They claimed ignorance, but the underlying issue was their lifelong favoritism. They admitted to preferring Mike and using him to avoid attending my wedding. My mom even confessed she thought I was delusional about the wedding, believing Lucas would never marry Emmy. The realization that my entire life had been undermined by their lies and manipulation was crushing. My parents had missed my milestones for trivial reasons, and now they expected forgiveness. I unleashed years of pent-up anger, disowning them and declaring my independence. Chapter 5. Moving forward, I knew cutting ties was the only way to heal. I started therapy, determined to break free from their toxic influence. I also sent evidence of my mom's abusive messages to her church, knowing it would lead to her ostracization. My dad, seeking redemption, promised to divorce her and win me back, but I remained skeptical. With my grandpa by my side and Lucas's unwavering support, I began to rebuild my life. The journey ahead would be challenging, but I was no longer alone. My family of choice, Lucas, my friends, and my grandpa were all I needed. The past no longer held me captive. I was ready to embrace a future defined by my terms. Epilogue. A new beginning. Life after cutting ties with my parents was liberating. Therapy helped me process the trauma and build resilience. Lucas and I focused on our careers and started thinking about our future together. My grandpa, ever the rock in my life, provided wisdom and comfort. The extended family drama gradually faded as I surrounded myself with positive influences. I learned to set boundaries and prioritize my well-being. The scars from my childhood remained, but they no longer defined me. I had reclaimed my narrative, transforming pain into strength. As I moved forward, I carried with me the lessons learned from a lifetime of neglect and abuse. My story was one of resilience, love, and the unyielding pursuit of happiness. In the end, I had found my voice and my place in the world, free from the shadows of my past.